Hello dear viewers, Joe right here. Today I decided to make a video where I demonstrate how I dissect a panel from a manga to prepare for my Yu-Gi-Oh! R episode. People expressed interest in helping me out, but many told me that they don't know how to use Photoshop. This will be a quick guide on how I do things. So I have this panel open in Photoshop over here. As you can see, we have Kaiba and his blue eyes white dragon behind him. We will start by pressing over here and choosing the polygonal lasso tool. This is the main option I use to select parts of the images. So on the priority list on what to cut out first, I always start off with the text balloons. I cut off the text first and then the text balloons. So, the reason why I do this is because sometimes I may only use one text balloon and make all the other text appear in that one single text balloon. So once I have selected the text, I press Ctrl and X to cut out the selected part. Then press Ctrl, Shift and V to pass the cut part back in the exact location for where I cut it. This creates a new layer in the process over here. Now remember, every time we cut something new, we need to make sure that we are on the main layer, which is layer 1 over here. Because if we're on the second layer, we only have the text. So there's nothing else to cut out. So we return back to the layer 1. Now we will cut out the text balloon as well. We're going to zoom in so we can better see. There we have it, the balloon is selected. We press Ctrl X, then Ctrl Shift and V, and boom, the text balloon is cut out. We will now do the same with the other text and the other text balloon. Polygonal lasso tool. Same as always, Ctrl X, Ctrl Shift V, boom. Ctrl X, Ctrl Shift V, and boom. Alright, we have now successfully cut out the text and the text balloons out of the image. With that out of the way, we now have to cut out Kaiba over here. And since he is the next element in the picture that takes position most up front. Now, due to the many edges and details on Kaiba, we will have to use the zoom in option and close in on Kaiba to better select the parts we're going to be cutting out. Now, due to the fact that there are many details to go through, and I may have to pause sometimes if I need to do something else, instead of polygonal lasso tool, I use the pen tool, which is located over here. The pen tool is useful because it creates a path of squares each time you select a part of the image. And if you need to zoom out to better see the picture, you can just do so. This is something you won't be able to do if you have decided to make the selection using the polygonal lasso tool. So once we have connected the path of the squares, we go up here where it says Make and press on the selection. The Make selection window will appear and you just need to press OK. So now the path has been converted into a selection. However, there is something that we don't want in that selection. And as you can see, it is the background lines that appear underneath Kaiba's arm over here. So, how do we isolate that part out? We need to press on the polygon lasso tool because this is the tool that we make selections with, and then press the right mouse button. So once we do that, we press select inverse. Select inverse makes Photoshop deselect the area over here, and instead it selects everything else in the image. We use this opportunity to now select the area underneath Kaiba's arm. We use the polygon lasso tool again, and while the selection is still active, we hold Shift. You will see a plus appear on the mouse, which means that you can now make an additional selection to the one that is already active. So we press over here, you can now release Shift and continue with the selection. Once we're done selecting the area underneath Kaiba's arm, we press the right mouse button again, and again we press select inverse. The selection is now only covering the parts that belong to Kaiba, and the background part of the image that is located underneath Kaiba's arm is not included anymore in that selection. We press Ctrl X to cut Kaiba out, and then Ctrl, Shift and V, and Kaiba will appear as a new layer. And as you can see, it's only him we have cut out of the image. Background underneath his arm is not there. So the only thing that we have left is the blue eyes white dragon. As of recent, I decided to no longer use the energy that surrounds the monsters. So this time the selection will be easier. I use the polygon lasso tool and select only the white parts around the dragon. Okay, so Ctrl X, the dragon is cut out, Ctrl Shift V, boom, he's done. We still have the white parts around the dragon, so I'm gonna use the magic eraser tool and press on the white parts to basically remove them. And now we only have the blue eyes white dragon, which is the part we need. It looks very clean now. Later on I will be editing the images to fill in the missing parts, but basically this is how I dissect the panel. What I'm going to do next is save the image as a PSD file. Here I press Ctrl Shift and S, Photoshop PSD file. It will be in the same folder from where you were editing the image. I press save, and now it is saved as a PSD file. Anyway, that's about it. I hope you found this video helpful, and thank you very much for your time.